Hi friends! Today we will learn the usage of question mark. So let's start. First of all, question mark is a punctuation mark that marks the end of a query. And that query can be a standalone sentence or part of a sentence. Here we have examples of queries. Are you going for music classes today? Is Emma your friend? Do you like cooking? These queries are standalone sentences. I am not participating. Are you participating? Here, I am not participating is not a query, but are you participating is a query. So, query is part of a sentence, but query always ends with a question mark. Are you really quitting this job? I think you should consider again. Here again, are you really quitting this job is a query that ends with a question mark. But the next part of the sentence, I think you should consider again, is not a query. So here again, query is part of a sentence and a query always ends with a question mark. Now let's learn various rules regarding the usage of this punctuation mark. First and foremost, it is used for seeking a direct query. And all direct queries or questions starts with one of these words. Why, when, what, how, are, where, can, is, will, were, do, or would. Here we have examples of direct queries. What is your name? Where are you going? Why are you not looking happy? What's your today's plan? Which is your favorite color? So these are some examples of direct queries, and direct queries ends with a question mark. Now let's learn what we do when a query is part of a statement. I am not participating. Are you participating? Here, you can see the whole sentence is not a question, but a question is embedded in the sentence at the end. And question is separated by means of a comma. And also question ends with a question mark, which also marks the ends of whole sentence. No full stop is required. Here we have another example. I am going for a walk. Will you join me? Here again, a question is embedded in the end of the sentence, and we separate a question using a comma. And the question ends with a question mark, which also marks the end of whole sentence. Here we have next example. Why are you not looking happy? I want to know and help you out. Are you joining the party? Please let me know in advance. Hey, have you seen Nick? I have been looking for him since an hour. In all these sentences, you can see the whole sentences are not question, but a query or a question is embedded in the first part of the sentence, and that ends with a question mark, and no comma is required to separate the query from the rest of the sentence. Question mark is also acting as a pause or a comma. Now let's have more such examples. Are you ready? I am getting late for the party. Here again, a query is embedded in the first part of the sentence, and that ends with a question mark. Are you done with all the packing? We have to leave in a few minutes. Here again, first part of the sentence is a query that ends with a question mark, and no comma is required to separate query from rest of the sentence. How did she perform on stage? Wish I could attend her function. Here again, the whole sentence is not a question. First part of the sentence is question, and that ends with a question mark. And the whole sentence ends with a full stop or a period. So you can also see that question mark acts as a comma also. Now let's see some sentences where a question is embedded in the middle of a sentence. I was your classmate. Do you remember? We used to be friends years back. Here we have a query. Do you remember? In the middle of the sentence, and this query can be enclosed within the sentence using em dash or parenthesis. Here we have another example. He is coming today. Do you know what time? I am excited to meet him. Here again, we have a query. Do you know what time? Embedded in the middle of the sentence, and that can be embedded using parenthesis or em dash. Both are correct. And you can see query ends with a question mark and a sentence ends with a period. Now let's see how we write a series of questions in one sentence. First of all, we use a question mark for every question in the sentence, whether it's a complete sentence or not. Capitalization of the first word in every question is optional. Now let's see some examples. What is the main cause of growing pollution? Smoke-emitting vehicles, industrial influence, or burning of fuel? Here you can see many questions are joined to make a single sentence, and each question or each query is ending with a question mark, and no comma is required to separate the queries. Let's have a look at another example. Can you guess how we would react? Feel offended, retort, keep his cool. Here again, many questions are joined to make a single sentence, and each question ends with a question mark. And question mark is also acting as a comma, giving a pause also. Now here we have another example. Where would you like to go? The fort, the museum, or the amusement park? Here again, many questions are joined to make a single sentence, and each question ends with a question mark, and no comma is required to separate the questions. Question marks are giving the desired pause in the sentence. Also, you can see in some sentences, we have capitalized every question in the sentence. And in some sentences, we have not capitalized any question in the sentence, so it's optional. Now let's see how we use a question mark to turn a simple statement into a question. You promised me for a new car. Here, the statement expects an answer from the listener because of a question mark in its end. Otherwise, this statement is not an interrogatory sentence. Here we have another example. If I am not wrong, you are Amelia's brother. Here again, this statement is expecting an answer from the listener, yes or no. But the statement is not an interrogatory sentence, but just a question mark in the end changes the statement into an interrogatory sentence. Let's have more examples of sentences that are turned into questions, just because of a question mark in their end. So, you are turning 11 today. You are planning to have a new house. You are reading a horror story. Just don't touch this hot pan, okay? So, in all these statements, a question mark in the end changes them to a query. Question marks are also used in statements ending with a tail question. Let's see how. You are Joy's younger brother, aren't you? Here, aren't you is a tail question that changes a statement into a question. Let's have more examples. Sam is not willingly making the painting, is he? Here, is he is the tail question at the end of the sentence that changes the whole statement into a question. You can't have said those words, did you? Here again, this did you is a tail question in the end of the sentence that turns the whole statement into a question. So friends, today we learned a lot about question mark. Now you may go ahead and take a quiz to learn more. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And if you want to see more fun videos, you can hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more content. Bye-bye!